Hello, it's Chaplain Paul again. I'm on safari. Right, crikey. No. Anyway, well, when we left off of the last episode, oh, maybe I should take my glasses off. Dink. Okay, there we are. You can see me now. All right, so this is what the deal is. Put on my other glasses so I can see. Oh, glasses are dirty. Well, here's what the deal is. We left off with Mr. Bones because we ran out of time in the last video. So this video will be, I believe, the rest of chapter 6, and then there's 7 and 8. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's not it. Should have had the page. Oh, here it is. Chapter 6. Chapter 6 was a way cool panther we call Mr. Bones. And what was happening was, well, in the last chapter, Maggie Magpie and the crows set up poor little Kenneth, because with the strawberries. They went in, took the strawberries, and Maggie Magpie, they spread their lies, and Maggie Magpie set up Kenneth. And here comes Kenneth with 2 strawberries. Hi, Fomba, I got your strawberries. And there's, oh my gosh, there's the Mr. Bones, and he's very upset. Those are his strawberries, and he loves strawberries. So he looks and sees. Here's come Kevin with the strawberries. Kenneth. Okay, Kenneth. Here comes Kenneth with the strawberries, and he looks like he's caught red-handed. But see, that's assumption. That's when we assume something before getting, down to the facts of something. We can assume something and draw our own conclusions and draw even a bigger mess. Well, guess who came to the rescue? My little buddy here. He came to the rescue. That's Dizzy. He was watching the whole thing. Told Mr. Bones that it was the crows, and it was Dizzy. Dizzy goes, oh, okay. There's Dizzy, right over, right there. Okay, so then what happened was, I lost my train of thought. Writers can do that, and so Dizzy explained to Fomba that he saw the whole thing, that it was the crows that came in, and it was Maggie Magpie had lied. Naughty, naughty. So we're going to pick up the story. Oh, and I bought some new friends. Look, I got this guy right here. See? That's Rory the lion. Rory's in another book, another story, another chapter. That's Rory the lion. And this is a new guy right here. I don't even really know what kind of an animal he is. Hey, new guy. I think he's a raccoon. So we'll call him something raccoon. I'll think of it. Can't think of anything right now. Hey, what's your name anyway?
My name is Jeffrey.
Jeffrey the raccoon? Are you serious? Can we think of something better than that?
All right. What do you, smarty pants? What do you think my name should be?
Well, let's see. Raccoon. Raccoon. How about Rocky the raccoon? From the Beatles. Yeah. Okay, Rocky. Your name is Rocky. Okay.
Okay. I'm Rocky Raccoon. Hey, everybody.
Okay, so that's Rocky. All right, and we'll probably run out of time with this video too. Hey, look, I'm looking at the camera. There's the camera. Okay, so notice how jubilant I am with these videos. They progress. Okay, so here's what happened. Okay, so then Mr. Bone. Here we go. Then Fomba said, "You see, everyone, poor little Kenneth was just being used by Maggie Magpie's awful lies. Hey, Mr. Bones, you should have Hey, Mr. Bones, now don't act so surprised." Mr. Bones bowed his head and said, "I am truly sorry, Fomba and Kenneth, and thank you, Dizzy. I should have known better. A friend of Fomba's is truly a friend of mine." Then Mr. Bones knew exactly what to do. He started to think of the perfect joke to deliver to you-know-who. Fomba shook his head and said, "The truth shall set you free. Lying is very bad and destructive. You all had better listen to me." See, this story, kids, is for children. Not to lie, not to steal, and the consequences of lying and stealing. I got it. It's right. Okay. So, Later that same day, Mr. Bones found Maggie Magpie sitting high up on a branch. Then Mr. Bones tried calling Maggie to come down from the tree, but Maggie replied, I'm not flying down there, my Mr. Bones. No, not me. So, nyeh. Mr. Bones then said, Kenneth is gone. Thank you, Maggie, for letting me know who stole my strawberries. Now here are some delicious fresh strawberries just for you. See, Mr. Bones knew exactly what to do. Mr. Bones was very smart. He was a very smart dude. Oh, but still she stayed. You see, old Maggie Magpie knew just what to do. Then the funniest joke Mr. Bones could think of came to his mind, and it went something like this. Hey, Maggie, called out Mr. Bones. Two ducks were sitting together in a pond one day, when one duck turned to the other and said, Do you know the story of Jonah the whale? I sure do. What about it? Said the other duck. Well, my fine feathered friend, do you honestly believe that Jonah was swallowed up by a big fish, then stayed in his tummy for 3 days, then was thrown up onto the beach and lived to tell about it? Do you believe such a quack of a tale? Now I gotta learn how to look at the camera and then go back to where I was. Maybe I should use my finger. Okay, where was I? I don't even know where I was. Okay. Oh, I mean, how did he do all that anyway? Well, said the faithful duck, yes, I believe every word of the story of Jonah. It's all truth to me, but how he did it, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to ask him when we get to heaven and see. Well, what if Jonah didn't make it to heaven, said the unfaithful duck. Well, smiled the faithful duck, then I guess you will just have to ask him instead. Boy, I should read that again. Well, said the faithful duck, yes, I believe every word of the story of Jonah. It's all truth to me, but how he did it, I don't know. I guess we will just have to wait and ask him when we get to heaven and see. Well, what if Jonah didn't make it to heaven, said the unfaithful duck. Well, smiled the faithful duck, then I guess you will have to ask him instead. Ha ha ha, quack, 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 ha 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 ha. Boy, that's so funny. Okay, now after hearing what Mr. Bones had said, Maggie looked at him for a second, and to her surprise, she began laughing so hard with tears in her eyes. Maggie was laughing so hard she fell right off of the branch and onto the ground, and with that, Maggie's lying days were never to be found. And as the setting sun seemed to melt gently away that day, all of those lying black crows took to flight and flew far, far away. How much time we got? Well, I got a couple of minutes left. Okay, this is chapter 7, Fomba and Sumba. It's a sonnet. So, if we put a sonnet in our bonnet, here we go. As Fomba was walking one day, clouds of white quickly turned to clouds of gray. The winds picked up, causing the trees to sway. Then a lightning bolt flashed, striking the ground, causing a very big rumbling sound. Spark, then flame, brush of fire, smoke rising higher and higher. Now hear this, all animals, run for your lives. The forest is on fire. Except it wasn't a forest, it was a jungle. Now as Fomba saw the flames, he turned to run for home, but just then a gentle voice was heard calling for help. Oh, help, help, help me please. Underdog, underdog, help me please. Oh, that's another story, underdog. Fomba went back into the brush to see, oh, now, what in the world could this possibly be? And stuck in quicksand, with her trunk held high, stood Fomba the elephant, who started to cry. Fomba called out to her, don't worry, I won't let you die. Fomba, he's a really good guy. And with that, he pulled Sumba right out of the quicksand pie. Oh, thank you, sir. You've saved my life, but my family is still back in those flames. Please, sir, please, go back in there and save their life, said Fomba. Fomba knew exactly what to do. He ran to the pond and filled his trunk with water, and then he ran straight into the flames to save Fomba's family. Wow! Well, thank God, it started to rain, and in a very short time it started to pour, and in a hardly no time, the brush fire was no more. Drip by drip, drop by drop, drip, drop of cool, gentle rain. then faster pouring down to a dry, thirsty, desperate ground. Flowers dance with utter joy as all of life was singing in the rain. Ground is cool and wet, rains have stopped as skies become clear. Then a beautiful rainbow appears. Then Fomba emerged with Sumba's family. Fomba could hardly even speak because Fomba reached over and kissed him right on the cheek. Aww. Fomba's knees felt weak as he stumbled his words and said, Mama, Mama, my name is Fomba. What's yours? And with a twinkle in her eyes, she smiled and said, Sumba. This was her sweet but simple reply. Okay, got it still more time. Sumba's family was saved, but now homeless. Fomba knew exactly what to do. He took them all back to his father, the king, and they were welcomed into the herd. And since that fateful day, things would never be the same, for one day, Fomba and Sumba will become king and queen of the elephant herd. Now this is a sonnet, okay? A sonnet has 13 lines, and that's what a sonnet is. Google it. Google knows everything. Okay, Fomba and Sumba, sonnet. And after this, I'm going to put a feather in my bonnet. Fomba and Sumba, fire and sand, wind and rain brought love together out of lightning, thunder, and pain. A friendship born, two birds of a feather, like two peas in a pod. Flowers blossom and bloom. Birds of song, two hearts beat as one. Chasing the wind, dreams begin. Life is anew as love fills the soul, running free. Two doves, two spirits, Romeo and Juliet. Love chasing dreams become reality. Song, bird sings, love grows, time flies. Racing, running, learning, growing, living. We've seen where they've been and what they've seen, and now at last they've become king and queen. Next time we'll read chapter 8 called Family Tree. And then in this book, because this is Fomba 1, 2, and 3, see, on Facebook, on Amazon, I think I did anyway. Oh, I didn't. What is that? Oh, well, we'll keep reading it because this is Fomba book 1, 2, and 3. So we have a lot more videos to make. Stay tuned, kids. And this video was brought to you by, brought to you by this video was brought to you by this. It's a little cart. So if you need to get around, make sure you get what's called the little cart. There you go. Have a beautiful day from Chaplain Pole out in the Australian outback with Rocky Raccoon and who's that guy? Rory the lion and Dizzy the monkey. And we'll see you soon from Pastor Paul. Bye-bye for now.